Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, as the Social Welfare Department searches for more funds to help Filipino families affected by the quarantine, a lawmaker appeals for speed and transparency in the distribution of aid. Senator Kiko Pangilinan joins us live. Military officials confirm a leaked memo is authentic. The memo talks of intensified troop presence in the implementation of quarantine rules. But the country's armed forces says this is the natural next step to the president's order to strictly enforce protocols. And later, what the heart of a champion means in times of crisis. 2 SEA Games gold medalists join forces to help frontliners in the COVID-19 crisis. The Armed Forces confirms it issued an order to troops to brace for a martial law type of community quarantine in Luzon. A leaked internal memo of the Philippine Air Force circulated on social media last Friday, the same day it was issued. It fueled speculations of a possible martial law declaration, especially after President Rodrigo Duterte mentioned a martial law-like crackdown because of some continue to defy quarantine rules. But the military defended the order on Sunday. Air Force spokesperson Major Aris Galang says they are just anticipating all scenarios if and when the president gives his orders. This kind of readiness was echoed by AFP spokesperson Brigadier General Edgar Arevalo, but he assures the public that there is nothing to be alarmed about. The Social Welfare Department will assess the need for additional funds for COVID-19. Social Welfare Secretary Rolando Bautista says this is to help those excluded in the list of beneficiaries. The evaluation comes amid reports that qualified families were left out because of the government's database is outdated.
We will collect their names, we will get the numbers, and we have already coordination with our economic managers that those who are not able to receive or eligible target beneficiaries, they will form part of the database that will be studied by our economic managers, of course, to program for if it necessitates additional budget.
10 days before the end of the extended community quarantine, and some of the most needy still waiting for help to come. How can the government speed up the distribution of aid to affected Filipino families? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan. Senator, welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, good morning, Pinky, and to your viewers, magandang umaga sa kanilang lahat.
Senator, I want to start with this leaked memo. So the Philippine Air Force already said that this is true. The AFP already also confirming this, but they call it a prepared strict implementation of an enhanced or extensive enhanced community quarantine. They say this is to prepare in case the president implements a martial law crackdown due to increased violations of the ECQ. Does this raise any red flags for you, sir?
Well, I think that why is the quarantine being violated? The data shows in the last report to Congress by Malacanang that only 25% of the beneficiaries receive the assistance. So you have almost 80%, 75% of your of people not being able to, who have lost their jobs, who are not earning anything today, who are going hungry. And they will have to go out and figure out how to address the hunger. So between a martial law type crackdown and fast-tracking the assistance, I think the right direction is to fast-track the assistance and make sure that the cash assistance and the relief goods reach those in lockdown. You cannot expect a person to stay home and stay hungry looking at his child, mga anak niya, ginugutom, and will not do anything about it. So I think more than a martial law type crackdown, we have to fast track the delivery of cash assistance and food packs for our citizens. I think that should be the priority, and that's why we're saying, what are the solutions? One, I think we have to speed up the delivery. We have to address the problem of the right beneficiaries. I think we should err on the side of being generous. The fact that we're trying to be, we're now trying to figure out who should receive what is something that's, I think, a bureaucratic nightmare that has to be addressed immediately.
Okay, but when you say it's a question of who has to receive what, sir, what I'm wondering is, when government allotted 200 billion pesos for 18 million families who belong to the low-income families, weren't we supposed to have a list, sir? Because when you talk to members or mayors of LGUs, they're saying that they had a list. And when they had a meeting, they approved that list. However, when it came to the DSWD, sir, the DSWD reduced that list. So that alone becomes a major problem.
Yes, precisely. The list that the DSWD has would be the CCP, the families, the four-piece families. But that's just less than 5 million.
Four-piece.
Yes, the four-piece family would be less than 5 million. So what about the 13 million? I think it's important to ensure that those who need it most will get it. But at the same time, we have to balance, you're talking of 18 million house families. That's pretty much 90% of your country's, of the population. And therefore, if there are some gaps,
that's right.
We would rather that have it distributed immediately. Maybe look into telcos. We do have 129 million cell phone numbers. Perhaps the telcos and the DSWD can look into how do we determine and perhaps a telco type padala system, direct cash assistance to these. What we have to do is hasten the distribution and ensure that the 18 million families needing it will get it as soon as possible. Isang buwan na ho, yung lockdown. 25% pa lang as of last week ang nakakatanggap. 75% ng mga dapat makakuha ng assistance mula pa nung 4 na linggo na, hindi pa nakukuha. Talagang lalabas ng bahay yan para maghanap ng makakain. Kaya dapat pabilisin po natin itong pag-distribute ng cash assistance in coordination with the local governments.
But Senator, I understand you're saying, I understand what you're saying, kailangan pabilisin. So mabagal po ang sinasabi niyo dahil nakailang linggo na hindi pa rin nakakatanggap yung iba. The first question, sir, really is, kanino ho ba talaga dapat manggaling yung listahan? Because there seems to be a disconnect kung sino talaga ang pasok sa 18 million at sino ang hindi pasok sa 18 million, sir.
Ako, pagkakatiwalaan ko yung local governments. Let's trust the local governments. Sila ang mananagot sa kanilang mga botante. No? Bigyan natin ng mas malawak na suporta ang ating mga pamahalang lokal. Pagkatiwalaan natin sila, now is the time to come together. Kung merong corruption issues, bantayan. Kung merong mga hindi nakakatanggap, i-report. Pero ibigay yung pondo, i-release yung pondo. Sinasabi kasi over 100 billion has already been downloaded, but it is not being released. And therefore, national government will just have to
that's a problem.
trust the local governments to make sure that this is delivered to the right people, and then have a system of check. Pero yung ihintayin mo yung listahan, hanggat walang listahan, hindi ilalabas, teka muna, magkakaroon din tayo ng problema dyan. Yan ang mangyayari. 75%, isang buwan na, hindi pa natatanggap. Let's trust the local governments. Let's provide them the necessary support.
Senator,
so that they... Yes.
Let's task them.
I'm sorry?
But the DBM had a press release, and I want to read this to you. It says that the DBM had a press release that came out Saturday, April 18, sir. It says the DBM releases 199.975 billion for DSWD Social Amelioration Program. Nakasulat po dito, Senator, that some were downloaded April 1, some April 2, and the rest April 16.
Yes, yes, but downloaded is different from being released. The actual release is another step. It's available for release, but whether it's released or not is another question altogether.
Okay, let me correct that though. They say that it has been released. And according to the DSWD, 18 million households nationwide will receive assistance through the SAP, including 4.4 million households who are part of the 4P, sir, and then who will receive top-up assistance from their existing payouts. Pagkatapos, meron pa syempre yung natirang 5 to 8,000. Sir, let me just ask you this. What should be done in the next 2 weeks para po makarating na sa 18 million families, ito pong 5 to 8,000 pesos?
Like I said, we have to trust the local governments. Ultimately, ang local government mananagot.
Okay.
So bigyan natin ng ating mga kapitan, bigyan natin ng ating mga mayor ng pagkatiwalaan natin. Tsaka na natin panagutin kung nagkaroon ng pagkukulang. Pero sa ngayon, people are hungry, people are clamoring for more assistance, and therefore let us provide the support. The national government, release it to your LGUs, make sure that the LGU is able to get the necessary resources, and then monitor the releases. I guess that's what we will have to do. Pabilisin natin at ang mga pamalang lokal ang dapat manguna dito sa effort na ito.
Pero because of that memo, that leaked memo, sir, kayo ho ba nangangamba na may lumabas na ganon? Even if they're saying it's just in preparation for a possible martial law crackdown because doon sa mga tinatawag na pasaway, sir? Or is this something that government may possibly need to do?
Well, in the end, the best way to address this is to ensure that the government is able to communicate effectively its plans in a transparent manner and is able to distribute the cash assistance and the food packs effectively in the lockdown areas, particularly in Metro Manila. Na mag-iisang buwan na, no? And then I think moving forward, there has to be a calibrated, the term is a calibrated partial lifting of the lockdown. As we move forward. Partial, hindi pa pwedeng dating gawin, no? Kinakailangan yung mga essential services lamang ang bubuksan. Merong partial lifting of this public transport ban. Pero dapat na calibrated din yan na yung mga taong kinakailangan lang na pumasok para magkaroon ng manufacturing, para yung pagkain ay na-deliver. Eventually, yan ang ating gagawin. Hindi pa pwedeng total lifting nitong quarantine dahil nga pag nangyari yan, babalik itong virus, kakalat ulit, para tayong back to square one. So moving forward, I think government has to communicate.
But,
hindi pa pwedeng lockdown lang at magutom kayo, bahala kayo sa buhay ninyo. Hindi pa pwedeng ganun ang mensahe ng gobyerno. Hanapan natin ang solusyon yung pag-deliver. Yung mga farmers, we already had an approval of the purchase directly from farmers. Local government should be able to do that. The Department of Agriculture has the funds to be able to provide yung kadiwa sa ani.
Right.
And therefore, pagtulungan na lang natin yung pagsagot doon sa tugon na ginugutom ang taong bayan. Hindi martial law ang sagot sa gutom ng taong bayan. Delivery of the cash assistance ang sa solusyon.
Last question, sir, just to be clear about this, you are in favor of a partial calibrated lifting right after April 30, sir? Or do you feel that the present situation, the ECQ, should be extended for another 2 weeks beyond April 30?
I think the ECQ should, I have to qualify that. No? The ECQ, by and large, should be extended. But certain essential services should be allowed to begin to operate. No? But that requires private sector testing. That requires that more testing as we prepare for that calibrated lifting. Without the mass testing, sabi nga, bulag tayo. We don't know who is infected. We don't know how this is spreading, and contact tracing and the isolation centers. Ito ang solusyon. Hindi martial law. Ang solusyon, magkaroon ng isolation centers. Yan naman ang ginagawa. Pero palagay ko, dapat pabilisin pa. Ginagawa. Yes. In fairness to the IATF, they are working double time. But I think precisely we have to work triple time to make sure that the isolation centers are in place, mass testing is undertaken, continued support for our all frontline workers, yung mga PPEs, yung mga masks, yung kinakailangan tuloy-tuloy yan para effective ang pag-handle ng pandemic.
Okay. All right. Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, sir, thank you for your time. Two decorated Philippine athletes are joining the battle against the novel coronavirus. We'll speak to them live later in the program. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. The world is coming together even if we are physically apart. The biggest artists blending their voices to pay tribute to frontliners in a global battle against COVID-19. The concert is called One World Together at Home, streamed live across multiple channels and the internet. CNN's Ricky Damigella has the story.
What I'd like to do tonight, if I can, is just give you the permission to, for a moment, smile though your heart is breaking.
Lady Gaga began the evening encouraging the audience to smile with a performance of the song popularized by Nat King Cole.
During hardships like this, we have to lean on each other for help. My friend, the late Bill Withers, has a perfect song about that. Lean on me when you're not strong.
Stevie Wonder followed with Bill Withers' Lean on Me. Withers passed away March 30th from a non-COVID-19 heart issue.
We have to all come together to fight it on a global scale. Let's tell our leaders that we need them to strengthen the healthcare systems all around the world so that a crisis like this never happens again.
Sir Paul McCartney made a call to action before leading into the Beatles' classic Lady Madonna, set to images of healthcare workers.
Well, Lady Madonna, children at your feet.
Those performances were within just the first 15 minutes of the program, hosted by late-night talk show hosts Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert.
Coming to you from the historic living room in beautiful downtown My House.
This is for everybody out there who's been working on the front line 24/7. Thank you for all your expertise, your love, your care, your humanity.
Sir Elton John delivered a backyard performance of I'm Still Standing. In a sign of the times, the Rolling Stones performed You Can't Always Get What You Want, socially distanced from each other from 4 different locations. Through a clever use of technology, Keith Urban, and Keith Urban jammed on a rendition of Steve Winwood's Higher Love. Jennifer Lopez sang Barbra Streisand's People.
Soon you'll get better. Soon you'll get better.
While Taylor Swift soloed her song Soon You'll Get Better. The star-studded show closed with Celine Dion, Lady Gaga, Andrea Bocelli, John Legend, and Chinese pianist Long Long performing The Prayer. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Still ahead, these Filipino athletes are raising funds for our frontliners in the war against COVID-19. We'll speak to Agatha, Wong, and Jamie Lim after the break. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. They not only excel in sports, they also have the heart to help a country grip in a pandemic. Filipino athletes are doing their share in the coronavirus war. Olympic silver medalist Heidelin Diaz held an online seminar to raise funds for her kababayans in Zamboanga City and some areas in Bulacan affected by the enhanced community quarantine. On Instagram, 2 SEA Games gold medalists in karate and wushu are joining forces to help the Philippine General Hospital and its frontliners. Let's go straight to the sources of the story. 2019 SEA Games karate gold medalist Jamie Lim and SEA Games wushu gold medalist Agatha Wong. Jamie and Agatha, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, po.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hi. Hi to you both. Let me start with Jamie. Jamie, what made you guys decide to join forces to begin a fundraiser?
So I was looking at the news every day, and I see that the country is having a hard time. It's really hard now. And as national athletes, we always say para sa bayan. So it's the perfect time to put those words into action. And the first person I thought of was Agatha, because when I met her, I think we connect in a lot of ways and we could work together. And we have the same passions, not only in sports, but in helping the Filipinos and serving the country. So I contacted her and she was thinking the same. She wanted to help also. And so we joined forces for this.
Well, great minds think alike. Agatha, I love how Jamie said para sa bayan. It's true. You guys always say para sa bayan. Tell us more about your drive. What is it called to raise funds for? I think this is for COVID-19. Is it patients under investigation?
Come again? Is it what?
PUIs though.
Okay.
Is it for patients? PUIs?
So yeah, it's yung campaign po namin or yung fundraiser namin. It's for PUIs, it's for health frontliners, it's for QC health facilities, and it's for PGH. So other than that, we're also open to donating to other sectors of in the medical area. And also yung story po behind our fundraiser is that we try to connect with a lot of people using our experiences as athletes and also to deepen the knowledge in our respective sports. Kasi yung sports namin, hindi din siya masyadong well-known. So we also took this as an opportunity to help people deepen their knowledge in our sports and also to help people in the front lines of this health war.
So what are you going to do? Jamie, my understanding is you're going to go live on Instagram every Wednesday and Saturday. How does this work?
Yes, well, so we thought we could share our stories and experiences as athletes because that's what we're known for most. We wanted to use that time to also inspire and motivate people and also share karate and wushu to others to promote sports and to also tell, especially the younger generation, to pursue sports because we know how much it means to us and how much it benefits us. So we wanted to both help and inspire people at the same time.
So, Agatha, this starts on Wednesday. If it starts on Wednesday, what can we expect during your Instagram live?
Okay, so dun po sa Instagram live namin, we have 5 episodes in total. So for each episode, we will always ask our viewers what they would want us to do or what they would want us to talk about. So in this case, yung sa episode 1 po namin, we decided to do a Q&A, so question and answer. And we decided to ask the people what they want us to talk about. Is it about health? Is it about wellness? Is it about our sport? And this just really builds that connection with other people. And it also helps us understand, what they want to know from us. Kasi we're not only athletes, we're also Filipinas, and we want to do our part for this country.
So while you're doing this, Agatha, this live every Wednesday and Saturday, how do you ask for, when does the donation actually come in? How does it work?
So bale po, yung vision namin for this fundraiser is we don't really require donations, so people can donate if they want to. We just encourage them to donate from the comforts of their own home. But most importantly, what we emphasize on is they learn from us, and they ultimately learn what karate is, how wushu is. They learn the martial arts of how our sports works. So for us, we don't really require any donations. And I think parang that sets the tone na parang it's okay if we share our experiences, and it's okay for you to listen to us that way without donating. Kasi for us, that's already a great help to our sport.
Absolutely. I mean, to actually talk to the people out there, tell them about karate, tell them about wushu, and have a close encounter with you guys, I mean, through Instagram, it's already a big boost now, especially for those who, your fans and who want to be like Jamie or Agatha one day. Jamie, so why don't you invite them for what is it called? Your fundraiser.
Oh, it's called Puso. Actually, ang galing ng title because Agatha thought of it. I mean, as athletes, we also say Puso. And it goes beyond just playing with our hearts there. We're playing for our country, and we're doing this for our country. So yes, please check it out. It's on our Instagram handle. So you can check Agatha Wong Y and JV Christine Lim. Actually, yung inspiration ng fundraiser na to is I see my mom a lot, and she's involved in different fundraisers also for PGH. So she's involved in towns fundraiser for PGH and UP Law for UP PGH po. So I see them, and I thought we could do something similar and at the same time do our IG live to help other people and connect with other people. And PGH is super close to heart because my Ninong there, Dr. Eric Berberabe, he's one of the frontliners po. Yes, he's the head of information, education, and communication of their PGH crisis management team. So close to heart yung PGH, and both of us are from QC. So we wanted to give back to both PGH and QC po.
Yeah, that's the Ninong. That's the brother of the mom of Jamie, works over there at PGH. Agatha, last words. What do you want to tell the public?
I think in this point in time, in this situation, I think what we all need to do is to just understand the situation and understand what this virus is doing to us, mentally, physically, emotionally. We're always locked. Ever since March, we've always been on lockdown. But I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise for those people who aren't health frontliners. So this is the time to reflect, and this is the time to help build yourself back up again if you've been through tough times or if you've been in a rough spot. So I really see this as like a win and a lose for both health frontliners and for both Filipinos at home.
Agatha, thank you so much. And Jamie, also maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa. Watch them on Wednesday on Instagram.
Thank you so much po.
Bye. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.